I appreciate you being on my podcast, man. It's one of the podcasts that I was looking forward to the most for a couple things, actually. Like I was telling you, the first older black man that I've had on, and older lightly, I say it lightly, but I say it with also respect as well, just because of the experience and wisdom that I think is going to be given on this podcast. So, if you just want to introduce yourself, a little bit about you, and then we'll just hop into it for the people who don't know you.
My name is Greg Cook. I'm retired military. I don't know, man. I don't really know what to say. I'm just kind of like, I know Jules through, kind of like indirectly, like through his younger brother, who was my mentee through Big Brothers Big Sisters, and that's how I met his family. And, got cool with his families, and they're all my family now. So
Yeah, for sure. And having this relationship with my brother through this mentorship, is that something that you grew up having, or was that offered to you when you were younger? Like the reason you wanted to do that or pursue that?
So, I mean, I always had people around, but I never really had to worry too much about it because, of course, the generation I grew up with, it wasn't like today. I'm 53 years old. It wasn't like today. We stayed outside. We stayed connected and
For
stuff.
sure.
So, we didn't really have to worry about some of the challenges of today, like with the social media. People don't really interact that much. So, with that, and then of course knowing the situations that young black men, young black people, young people of color in general find themselves in these days. Sometimes I just felt like they needed a way a way out. Like instead of being a victim of circumstance, try to show them, you don't have to let your surroundings dictate who you are. You can escape that if you want to. And if there was a way that I could help out and show that there's a way out, then that's what I try to do. And that's something that I always wanted to do. And I find myself gravitating around, kids to help for mentorship like that, because as much as we say it's for them, it's for me too, because it makes me feel good to know that I've reached a kid and helped them, or at least tried to help them get out of maybe a negative situation, or just improve the situation that they're in at that time. So
Yeah, for sure. And growing up and being a father myself, I get to see how similar generations are when it comes to just poverty or living in an environment that is not the best. I mean, you can probably attest to this as well. I mean, when you were younger, you probably saw your friends go down the same path, these younger generations. And it's like, what is it about just everyday life in these circumstances that is on a repeating cycle? Because if we can see it, like, if we were God or something and we saw like a repeat cycle, it's just different generations. And it's like, what factor is in there that is keeping it that way? And how can we, as just people, help break that cycle? And the start was the mentor or the Boys and Girls Club, different things of that nature. But then I feel like it gets to a point to where, especially when the Boys and Girls Club is based in that community, sometimes the people there are not running it the way it should be. And the kids are getting an escape, yes, but they're escaping to go to the same shit. So it's just really odd. And with my son, I try to be just that light for him, so he understands, like, yes, this is a possibility to come out of the struggle. It's a possibility to be better. But what my dad did, I don't have to go through that. I don't have to go down that route.
Right.
And that was just the big thing for me. Like, everything I'm doing was the blueprint to set up for him. Okay, so were you raised in Oklahoma, born in Oklahoma?
No. I'm from Pennsylvania, from Pittsburgh.
Oh, damn. Oh, are you an Eagles fan?
No, I'm a Steeler fan.
Oh. Okay, Philly,
Yeah,
and
Philly.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Oh.
Philly is on the opposite side of the state.
Oh, okay,
Philly's on the
okay.
East Coast. You know, Pittsburgh is
Yeah.
on the West. So yeah.
Huh. Well, damn, I don't like both of them. Pittsburgh because they have one more Super Bowl than the Niners, and Philly because they're just Philly.
Yeah, I mean, Pittsburgh, it's the city of champions. The Steelers is who they gonna be. So.
Man, I'm telling you, Philly has just so much heavy hitters coming out of there that are famous, that are just great.
Man,
I mean, you have Kevin Hart, Michael Blackson.
man, yeah, Philly's cool. They're all right.
You got Will Smith. I feel like that's the coolest.
Yeah, Philly, they're all right. They're all right.
It's all right, man. So, with you being in the military, was any of your family members in the military that made you inspired to go down that route?
Well, yeah, most of my family was military. Most of them were Marines. But I mean, it was just something that I knew that I wanted to do ever since I can remember, and it took me a few times to get in because I'm deaf in one ear.
Oh,
So there was a couple times I went to go try to get in, take the physical. I get disqualified at the hearing part because I couldn't hear it. So I wanted to get in so bad that I memorized the pattern on the hearing,
yeah.
and I went down there, did it, and was hoping, praying, sweating. And all of a sudden, they came back and were like, "Yeah, you passed." I was like, "Oh, so I made it."
Right.
And then, but it was funny because my plan was to be a Marine. Just that was the plan. And I was testing. I had my little Marine applicant sticker on, all that good stuff. And I was at the MEPS doing my physical stuff for the Marines. And this Army recruiter hit me up. He saw me. He was like, "Hey, let me ask you a question." So he's like, "Where you going after boot camp?" "I don't know. Wherever the Marines send me." "Why?" He said, "Want to go to Hawaii?" And this was in Pittsburgh in January. There's like 2.5 feet of snow outside.
Damn.
He's like, "You want to go to you want to go to Hawaii?" I was like, and by that time I knew about contracts and stuff. So it's like, if you put it on a contract, you got me. He was like, "Give me 10 minutes," and he came back, and I knew that I was going to come out to Oklahoma for basic training, and then I was going to Hawaii for 3 years. So
Man,
that's how the Army ended up getting me.
hell yeah. And there was something that you said or did in that story. It was the persistence that you were taking to get your dream. And a lot of people stop with that one failure, or they think, because I have this, I no longer can try or even get what I want to get. So what was that like for you mentally, saying, even though I have this disability, I'm going to be a Marine, or I'm going to pass this? Because a lot of people don't have that type of dog mentality.
Man, listen, that I don't know, that was on a different level, because I mean, it was just something that, like I said, I knew as long as I can remember. I mean, literally, that was something that I wanted to do, and it was killing me that I couldn't. I mean, killing me. I just knew that I wanted to serve. I knew it, and I don't know, man. I was at my wit's end. I was like, I'm never gonna be able to do this. I don't know what the heck, I was like, last ditch effort.
Yeah.
Last ditch effort. Let's just see, you can't blame me for trying. And so like I said, I went and I did it. Went down there, memorized it, had fingers crossed, all that good stuff. I didn't expect to get it. And then when they came back and told me I did, I was like, I don't even know how to explain how I felt. I was like, oh my God, it actually worked.
Yeah.
And I never regretted it. It was something, like you said, it was something that I always wanted to do. So,
And that feeling you were having, it made me think of I'm a big UFC fan, and there was a champion, Israel Adesanya. He beat his rival, and he was like, "Guys, hope I pray once in your life you get to feel this feeling that I'm feeling." And with him, he was like, "I get to feel this every night because I work so hard to attain my dreams." And I've even noticed with my career now, it's like every episode or every thing I host or every congratulations, it gives me that feeling of, I don't know, it's this happiness, but happiness times 10. Because now when you guys, when
It's
you
almost
work,
like it's not real.
right, when you work for something and it's something that you truly want, it's fuck, I don't know. It's like seeing a fucking mermaid or
Yeah.
or
Yeah, it is.
a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, because it's your work, it's your sweat, it's your tears, man, and when it's in your hands, nothing can take that away. And that's what really separates the people who get it and the people who don't get it, because they feel emptiness more than they feel the want to be successful. And I was like that for a long time. You know, I was, overweight, super anxious, really depressed during my teen years, and I just lived life. And especially having Elijah that whole year, the whole first year when he was born, still didn't do nothing with my life. And I got to a point where, okay, it was tomorrow, or okay, it's tomorrow, and then each tomorrow's becomes a week, it becomes a month, and at a certain point, your child cannot walk. You cannot walk because you got so big, you got so unmotivated that you look in the mirror and you don't know who's looking back at you.
No.
Because you avoid the mirrors, you avoid, taking pictures because self-consciously but
Yeah.
looking at it makes it real.
Yeah.
You feel me? And
Oh,
that's why I tell people all the time, the way I was able to start this journey is looking at myself in the mirror and telling myself I forgive myself for everything I've done and what I've allowed people to do to me. And I've said that over and over again in that same spot until I believed it. And once I believed I forgave myself, I was now able to go to the gym with no regrets, or, oh, I should have did this sooner, or, oh, I should have. No, it was day one. I saw this quote. It was either day one or one day.
Yeah.
Oh, if you want to grab the cord,
Yeah.
that's what makes that buzzing sound. Oh, there we go.
Trying to make sure it's pushed up in. There we go.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, if you just want to grab it. Sorry, I try to get better equipment.
No, that's all good. That's all good.
Hopefully, but yeah, man, it was just, once you give yourself a clean slate. Not saying that clean slate is a blank piece of paper. It could be white out. It could be scribbled. It could be whatever. As long as the next fucking section is for you to now correct it, then that's all that matters.
Yeah, well, like I said, man, knowing you for, man, it's been almost 10 years now. And, knowing where you were and where you're at now, and then, kind of like paying attention to the journey in between. Like I told you, I would see you on Facebook, and I would see you, talking about working out. Or I would see you posting a positive quote about this or about that. And this is especially after Elijah was born. But I would look and I would be like, people, yeah, they say and do a lot of stuff, but is it really putting it into action? And like I said, it wasn't like I doubted you or whatever. I just wanted to see where your head was really at. So, I wasn't trolling you, nothing like that. But I would pay attention to what you were, you were posting and what you were saying, and I would see what you would do, the stuff that you put online. And I saw the content, and I was like, okay, he ain't just talking about it. He's being about it. I'm sitting there, I'm watching it, I'm looking at it. I know how big you used to be, and I see you now. I'm like, this dude, he's on a mission. And like I said, one of the most powerful things you said that I saw that you put on Facebook was when you were like, I gotta live because of my son. You know what I'm saying? it's because of him that I'm alive. You know what I'm saying? And I think with you, people don't know really how deep that goes. They don't know. They don't know just how impactful that statement is. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't know you, folks. I'm here to tell you where this dude is now and where he came from. It's hey he there's something that he's saying that he's doing that people need to listen to. Because what he's saying and what he's doing has substance. And like I said, he's not just talking about it, he's being about it. You know, and it's inspirational. It's inspirational to me. I told him that.
I appreciate it.
You know, I told him that. Shoot, I done got kind of big over surgeries and this and that and the other.
You still look strong as fuck, though.
Oh, man.
I mean, in the camera, you look strong as hell.
Yeah. Looks can be deceiving, too. Looks can be deceiving.
Like, they don't need to know that.
You know, but, you know, you know, like I said, we gonna get together. We gonna make some things happen because
For sure.
I'm gonna use you as motivation for me.
Yeah.
I gotta get myself right again. You know. So
and people ask me why I was or how did I become so, like, I don't want to say motivated, but how I can walk in and talk it. And in my opinion, I have no idea. I just went to the gym, and then the next day I went again. And then the next day I just went again. So it wasn't like a pill I took, or it wasn't fucking like fairy dust that made me go, or, you know, I wasn't controlled. It was just, people say every day is a new day. So treat that every day like day one.
yeah.
And eventually you will get progress. Eventually shit will start to happen.
Yeah.
You know, and people don't, like, they want to be like, oh, I want to be motivated. I want to be you gaining weight is not motivation enough. You potentially dying from being overweight is not potentially, or is not motivation.
Yeah.
But that's what people need. Oh, go ahead.
No, well, what I was gonna say, and I think that the big detractor is people want that instant gratification.
Yeah.
They want to see the change immediately, and that's just not how it works. You know what I'm saying? You can't. You're not gonna see the change until you put in at least a little bit of work.
Right.
You know?
Shit. It's 90% hard work.
Yeah, man.
10% results.
Yeah,
because
man.
I've been working out for 2 years heavily for a year. Even though I lost 130 pounds, I'm still fat. And that shit is like, it's not downing, but you're like, okay, when is it going to be over? But then when it's over, you're like, fuck, where do I go now? What else is there? So it's not the destination, it's the journey, because everything I've learned, everything I've done, everything I put my body through, it is now the reason I get to talk to you about it.
Yeah, man. And again, like I said, you know, you consider yourself fat. I just consider you, you just big boy.
A big bode.
You just a big boy. You just a big boy. Now, when you first started, you was fat.
Man, fat as fuck. 477 pounds, bro. Like,
you was swole, bro.
Shit.
I was like, wow. And I used to worry about you, man. I'd be like, damn, man, I don't know if this Jew's gonna make it, man, because I used to be, I almost like had pity on you, like, damn, man, so young, so smart, and ain't gonna be here to enjoy none of it. You know what I'm saying? Not gonna be here to really have a chance to experience success because, he's not taking care of himself. It used to bug me. But then, like I said, I saw what you started doing and how you doing. See, you started getting nice with the hands too. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, okay. Juice out here looking like, hey, okay, he getting it together.
Right.
So.
And that's the thing, man. It's just you don't know you're getting that big. It doesn't make sense when you look back at pictures and you're like, that was me. Like I walked around like that every day. I had to, and looking back at my life, and this is what has been bugging me for a while, and it took me a long time to continue to forgive myself for this. So with my son's mom, we've always had the ups and downs, and I look back with me being the type of man I was when she was pregnant, and then that whole year with Elijah, and it's like how did I manage to even find someone to love me at that point? How did I manage to even be able to say, yeah, I have a girlfriend? Because it's like I did nothing a man should have done. You know, like we were using her mother's car. We were borrowing money from her sister, her uncle, and once I started smoking to help with my anxiety and depression. But that got to a point to where I was still unemployed, and we were just door dashing just to get a gram of weed or whatever, or try to make bills or ends meet. And I get upset with myself, and I get upset with other men who are in that position, because I know the significant other or whomever cares about them, I know how they feel. I know what it's like to put somebody through that, and I know what it's like to love somebody to that extent and see them fail.
Yeah.
You know, and now it's been my mission, especially with the podcast, to show people there's better, to tell people it's better. And you know, somebody was telling me, he was like, if I don't call you Tuesday, call me Wednesday. You know, it may be a test to see if you want it. I was like, you can look at my podcast and see that I want it. From episode 1 to now, you can see the growth in mental strength, physical strength, you know, emotional strength, everything that has been introduced to my life was because of me wanting it. And some people want it. That is true, but nobody goes and gets it.
Yeah.
You have to chase success. Success is not going to chase you.
Yeah.
Man, success is at the top. It's like, why would I come down there to get you?
Right.
I'm going to be fine without you.
Right.
But you, on the other hand.
Right.
And that's what people don't understand.
You want me where I'm at.
Right.
You know, so, yeah.
Like, fuck, it's crowded at the bottom.
Yeah,
if it's lonely at the top, that's fine. I'll enjoy the view. But it's crowded as fuck down here.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and it's just, it's been a blessing. But guys, you have to go get it. Every day. Like, after this podcast, I'm going to go to the gym.
Yeah.
I'm sore as fuck. I had 2 anxiety attacks. Random. I haven't had those in forever. But I had 2 anxiety attacks yesterday and the day before. And I was at the gym when the second one happened. Or the third one, actually. I was in they have a personal sauna. So I was in the sauna. And I was like, all right, I feel it coming on. I have no idea why. But I was like, all right, I'm going to ride this out. I'm going to see if I can meditate and see what's going on. So what I did is I put on YouTube and put on how to go through a panic attack or whatever. And I clicked on like the second video, and there was this guy. He was just saying, hey, if you're experiencing a panic attack, listen to my voice, calm down. And then I just started crying, and I was like, what do I need to release? What is it about these last 2 days that's been fucking with me? And I don't think I was able to feel just anything for a while. Even though I mentally was better, mentally was doing shit, I don't think I felt it. You know, because I go to the gym 5 days a week. If I'm not at the gym, I'm a father. If I'm not a father, I'm working. And yesterday really showed me, like, hey, man, you potentially have an opportunity to make podcast your career. You know, hey, man, your father figure died. Hey, man, you know, like, your son's getting older. Hey, man, your body's screaming stop, but your mind's saying keep going. And I think I just needed to accept all of that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, man.
And put it out there on the table, put it out so I can tell myself it's going to be all right.
And it's crazy when you have those moments, man. Just like you said, you don't know when they're going to happen. It might not necessarily end up in a, you know, panic attack or anxiety attack.
Yeah, because I thought I was going to die because, you know, being big, I don't know. I mean, I know my heart. I was like, Julian, if you worked out for a year the way you were, you would have died by now if you had heart problems.
Yeah.
But it just made me feel that way. And it's just like, bro, that shit was.
But when real life just, it interjects itself on you, you know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't make an appointment or whatever. It just when real life just lets you know, yo,
I'm here.
look at what in this span of time. Look at what happened. You haven't taken the chance. You haven't taken the time to sit back and just actually look and accept and just maul on what's happened over, let's say, this last 30 days or whatever.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna force you to do it. I caught you at the time, like you said, you were in a personal sign of just, you know, I'm gonna make you reflect on it. Look what's happened. You know, good, bad, or indifferent. Look what's happened.
Yeah.
And just like you said, when you really get to thinking about how much of a difference you've made or whatever in a certain period of time, it can be overwhelming. Like, oh my God, I really did that.
130.
You know,
At one point, I had to lose 200 pounds, and now it's only 60.
it's crazy, dude. And like I said, I've been seeing you on your journey. Hey, man, this ain't nothing for you, bro.
Yeah, it's there's so much more life, man, and that's what these kids don't understand. Like, they want to be so cool now, they want to be so tough, and it's like, once you go to jail or once you die or whatever, let's just say jail, right?
Yeah.
Or let's just say you get into an altercation, you're fighting out the club, and now you're paralyzed from the waist down or from the neck down. You're probably going to live another 30, 40 years in that position, in that situation. So with me, I had to think super long term, because it's like, Julian, 30 years, you only be 50. 40 years, you only be 60. My grandmother's damn near 70.
Yep.
I want to, at least when I get to that age, I stopped working 50 years ago. You feel me? Whatever years ago.
Yeah.
And I had to plan for that. Like I told you about my cousin, how many years he got. That's a long, long time.
And then on top of that, every day you won't help but to ask yourself, was it worth it?
Right. I saw there's this picture floating around Facebook, and this guy was like, "Man, 5 minutes cost me 25 years or some shit."
Yeah, I saw that.
And it was, and that's what we hear as boys, we hear as teenagers, we hear as young men, but we don't feel it until it happens.
Yeah, and see, that's like I said, and I was talking to a couple guys yesterday that also like to mentor kids and coach kids, and not just kids, but people of color. We just try to help out as much as we can, and I tell them two of the main messages that I like to put out. Number one is, again, like I told you, you don't have to be a victim of circumstance. You don't have to let your surroundings dictate who you are. Just because you're from there don't mean you got to be there.
Right.
And I said, the second thing is, don't ever reinforce the stereotype. And what I mean by that is, you already know what they think about young black men.
For sure.
Young people of color, always up to no good, this and that and the other. Don't be that one where they can look at you and be like, see what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I told you that. That's why you can't hang out with them. See what's going on. See
right.
Why do we got to sag? Why we got? Why you got to wear jeans that you can't even pull up over your behind? What is that, man? You know what it is? Reinforcing the stereotype. See what I mean? Look at them sagging. Look at them doing this. Look at them doing that. And like I said, man, I'm not knocking my culture, not at all. But there's a lot of situations and a lot of circumstances, and I'm definitely not the role model or whatever, but I try to learn from my mistakes. But we don't have to put ourselves in a situation where we give them ammunition, and it doesn't even have to be a me or them situation, but y'all know what I'm talking about. But we've got to do better for ourselves, and that's where it starts. It starts with us. Mm-hmm. It starts with us. Education. I think a lot of times, the things that we run into are because of a lack of education. Um, no, we don't know why we should be proud of ourselves. Why we should be proud of, who we are as a people.
Why should the ACT matter? Why should
Yeah,
getting good like, and that's the thing that is another detriment to our people. Not only is it ourselves, but it's, I mean, ourselves physically, but it's ourselves mentally.
yeah,
Because I don't know if there's any other group of people, probably, but I feel like we're the only group of people that are still in the land of our captors. So now when you look at just the history of us, we don't see ourselves as anything better than individuals who were slaves, segregation, and now just a big ass step backwards. Because you had men leaving the wives leaving the men. There's this song that goes, turn the man against the woman so he doesn't trust her, and turn the woman against the man so she doesn't need him. And once that was instilled in our people, that is really, I feel like, when we took a turn for the worse. Because you go to these churches or you go outside into these big cities and you see the Jesus is white. These people in these nice suits are white. And you start to look at your people and then you're like, well, we're not that. So I'm just going to dress how I want to dress. I'm going to act how I want to act because I don't see myself as God. I don't see myself as better because look at us. When were we better? Even when we had an MLK or a Malcolm X, they were gone. They died. They hired somebody to infiltrate the Black Panthers so they could kill Malcolm X. And then they assassinated Dr. King, and it's like, well, without peace, there's violence. But even with our own people trying to be something, it's an internal affair. So we never had the winning stick. Even though we won a war to be free, what were we really free from? Not being able or to work now and get paid?
right. And we've been taught through, history, whether indirectly or not, that white is pure, white is good, white is, anything that's positive is light in color.
For sure.
And, failure and demise and everything is always dark, and you start to live that way. You start to live and feel that way. And like you said, that's where we got to make a change. You got to understand that that's not the case.
Yeah.
I mean,
But once we step back and understand that being, let's just say, light and dark in reality, not just color, right? Mm-hmm. Well, with darker, if we're outside, we'll be all right. Mm-hmm. But if you're lighter, mm-hmm. it's going to hurt. Mm-hmm. A black hole absorbs light. Mm-hmm. And people say nothing is faster than light. Mm-hmm. So it's like when you look at the concept of dark, it is, I'm not going to say a superior thing because I don't want people to take my words wrong. Right. But it is a thing that is necessary for survival. It will survive. It will continue to prosper. And if you call in these people black or dark, what kind of people will get treated like sardines on a ship, get fed to alligators, get brutally beaten, and still have enough people to run the culture of the United States? When people think about the United States, they think about black culture. Think about that. If you think about America, what do you think about? The NBA, the NFL, rap music, gangs. But they all look like us. It'd be odd if the Jewish people were the biggest thing in Germany. It'd be weird if the Japanese was the biggest thing in wherever Genghis Khan was from, Mongolia. But we are the biggest thing in the world. So it makes you step back and think they all appreciate it internally, but externally they're like, nah, fuck them. But us, we don't appreciate it at all. We want to get upset on TikTok and be like, oh, no, that's just appropriation. People get upset when, other people say the N-word, and I'm like, as long as you don't call me a nigga, that's fine. But seeing a white person or whomever say the N-word, it makes me think, what would your forefathers think? That you would say that with such proudness because the people they said it against are way better than the culture that you are.
But see, yeah, well,
it's like if you really brought their forefathers back and they're dating black men, trying to be black, saying nigga, like they'd be like, what the fuck happened? You guys were on top. I mean, they're still on top, but it's like, how did they influence you? Because it shows that dark or black, it survives, it adapts, it grows. But it also stays ignorant to the fact that it's destroying itself.
Boy,
it fucks us up because, like you were saying, you see these kids, you don't have to be your environment, but it consumes them.
Yeah, it does.
It's like you're
and there's it's the like you said, not willing to pursue, not willing to work for what you want, culture too.
Right. And I'm not saying America is, in my opinion, the best country in the world. Regardless of the history that we've been through, I appreciate my people for being in the position that we're in now. Able to be superstars, able to be entrepreneurs, businessmen, things of that nature. I'm glad that we are now in this position. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else, but we still have a lot of work to do with ourselves. So I don't want to say I'm unappreciative, because the fact I can go to my faucet and turn that motherfucker on any time of day and it works, I cannot complain about that.
Right.
You feel me? Like, let me say that.
Right.
The fact we can even say anything at all,
right,
because of people like you fighting for that right. You feel me? So I don't know where you were going or why I had to say that, but I don't want people to think I'm just against my mom's white, guys. You know this, but I don't want people to think that I'm against anyone.
Yeah.
But I'm more for the people who look like me. My son is a black boy.
Yeah.
You will not look at him and be like, his grandmother's white.
Yeah.
You will not.
Yeah. That's
so I have to now live that way. And I have to do everything that I can to make sure his future is at least 1% better than my life,
Yeah.
Because when me and you are both gone, he'll still be here having to raise the next generation.
Yeah.
Have to give them the game. And hopefully by that time there's more. You know what? I hate saying that. Hopefully by my kid. When you watch old movies and you watch, it's 1980. How are black people still getting called nigga? It's 1990. How are we still? It's 2000. Like we said earlier, it's a fucking cycle. So I'm not going to say, hopefully by my grandchildren. We have to make it today. Like I said earlier, it can be day one or one day. We have to choose.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's crazy. This podcast went so many different directions.
It did. And then we're still about to hop back. So being a young man, now that you're in the military, in Oklahoma during boot camp, what was the biggest challenge for you? We see the yelling, we see the yes, drill sergeant, all that. But for you personally, what was it like? Just being a young man from Pennsylvania, now in a fucking country state.
Man, in the Oklahoma heat.
Man.
Bruh, when I first got here, I was like, man, what in the
Man, send me back to that snow.
I was like, well, when I came out here for basic training, I was out here from August through December.
Whew.
I was out here August 1990 to December of 90 for basic training. So I saw all 4 seasons out
Yeah.
there. And when I got out here in August, first of all, when they said I was going to Oklahoma, I was like, oh, that really is a state, huh? I'm serious, man. I was like, yo, I didn't know what to expect. I
Yeah.
didn't know what to. I looked it up and I saw engines and I was like, oh, okay. Then I got out here and I was like, what the hell? But that's
It's a different story.
yeah. But anyway, but yeah, man, it was the heat, man. When I first got out here, I was like, what is this, man? This is like 1 degree below hell. What is this, man? And then yeah, came out, did basic training. And people, that's the thing about the military. People, that's the first thing they think about is the in your face, the yelling, this and that and the other. Listen, man, that only happens in basic training. And the way basic training is these days, it doesn't even happen that much now.
Damn, they soft? They soft now?
Bro, they can have their cell phones after 5 o'clock in basic training now.
Oh, y'all need to stop, bro, because
it's
have you seen the world? We need strong people, guys.
It's ridiculous. But after basic training, when you go to your first duty station, or they call it permanent party, when you go to permanent party, the military is just like a regular job. Except it's a job where you got to get up and do exercise in the morning. Because a typical day was, you get up about 6, whatever, from 6:30 to 7:30, you're doing PT.
In basic training, or once you got out of basic?
Once you got out of basic training.
Oh, okay. You still had to stick to that regiment?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Oh, okay.
You do PT every day, pretty much. But you know, 6:30, 7:30, you're doing PT. From 7:30 to 9 o'clock is triple S, shit, shower, shave. Get your breakfast, shower, get your rooms right and all that. They don't even have room inspections and stuff anymore. But then from 9 o'clock to 11:30, that's first work call formation. Whatever you need to do during the first half of the day, do it. Whatever your job is. 11:30 to 1 is lunch. 11:30 to 1, an hour and a half for lunch.
Yeah.
And then from 1 to 4:30 is second work call formation. You finish up whatever you didn't do first half of the day. Now, a lot of times, believe me, you get a lot of time off in the military too.
Yeah.
Like if you're not training, you get a lot of days off. And a lot of times those after 1 o'clock, after you come back from lunch, might turn into a Madden tournament or something like that.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, man, what? Yeah, spend the second half of the day playing Madden all day, or whatever. But once you get off at 4:30, from 4:30 until 6 o'clock the next morning, you do whatever you want. I mean, yeah, you do whatever you want. Literally, it's like a regular job, except that you got to do PT, or if you're not deployed or you're not out in the field training somewhere.
Yeah. Well, fuck, people wake up now and work out. So you basically was just living your life. Yeah.
Like I said, that's exactly it.
That's beautiful.
And I tell kids, I tell them about the military now. Man, ain't nobody yelling at me. Ain't nobody gonna tell me this. Anybody gonna tell me that. Listen, man. Do you have a job now? Yeah. Do you have a boss? Yeah. Same difference.
Yeah.
Somebody telling you what to do. So, just the military, I think that if not everybody, at least all American males should have to do at least 2 years. Because of the way it teaches you, literally, they teach you not to sweat the small stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that could be a really good thing, because now, I mean, you have discipline now. Yeah. Because a lot of people don't grow up with discipline. Yeah, because I know Israel, it's a mandatory thing.
Korea too. Korea's the same thing that you got to serve.
Yeah,
it's mandatory that you serve at least 2 years.
Man. Yeah,
But
Germany, I think they do that as well.
yeah, man, you just and not everybody that goes into the military, you know, gets all gung ho and comes out on, you know, nice and disciplined and ready to, bro. When I went in, matter of fact, when we went to Hawaii, first duty station. Um, let's see, we left. I left Oklahoma. I left basic training on like December 5th or 6th, something like that. We landed in Hawaii December 27th for start 3 years training. Well, down there in Hawaii, a couple of the guys I was in basic training with, um, one of them was married, one of them wasn't, but they were into that swinging stuff, blah, blah, blah,
Oh,
blah, blah.
damn.
Yeah, man. And make a long story short, the one that was married, his wife got real close to the one that wasn't married, and they were like best friends. And then the married one ended up killing his best friend. Yeah, so
Oh, shit.
yeah, bro, I'm telling you, stuff goes on. It's just like, I mean, it's what you see is happening out here in the streets. It's the
Yeah.
same type of stuff, man. But
Man, rule number one, men, never fight over some coochie. I've told myself that plenty of times. Because now that I know how to fight, I will beat a nigga up. And over some coochie, that is just weird. Oh, that's so weird. Yes, y'all need to stop. Because again, you can hit somebody and they hit their head and they die.
yeah,
And guess what that girl out here doing? She's still fucking.
man,
He's dead, you're in prison.
yeah, man.
Still fucking.
But I said the military, man. Listen, it is a good, honest living. I would never knock it, and especially for those young cats like that are just about to graduate or whatever, and not quite sure what they want to do. Man, look, go that route.
Because not everybody gets deployed
Right, right,
for combat type
right.
shit.
And even if you do get deployed for combat, depending on your job, you might not even see combat. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on your job. And believe me, it's still, yeah, combat's scarier than the mud, but it's still,
I bet.
I mean, you go into the military with a full understanding of what you're going in for. You know what I'm saying? You understand that risk. That's a risk that you assume. You might go to combat. You might die. Yes, that's part of it. But the good far outweighs the bad. So, especially for those young cats out there that aren't exactly sure what they want to do with themselves right now, and look, go try it out. That's male and female. Listen, you can get a good, honest living. You can, and you never know. You mess around and be good at it.
Yeah,
you might like it.
Meet people from around the world.
Oh
That
my
was
God.
so.
Man.
People say don't have regrets. Have regrets if it fuels you to be better in the future. But that was my biggest regret, is not going to the military. I wish I was more determined to lose weight at that time, because it was something I wanted to do, And I remember the day you took me to the recruiter, and they were like, "Yeah, man, if you just lose the weight, you can be able to."
Yeah.
And it just never worked out that way. But again, it is fuel for being better now. You know, I mean, I get to appreciate people who are in the military, and hopefully one day, it's just never know what happens. I get to just meet people and just be cool that way. So, were you? So you were saying you run that risk of being deployed. Were you ever anxious about being deployed?
No.
Were you ever deployed?
Yes, but listen. That was one of my main things about being in the military was I wanted to be deployed. I mean, I wanted to be. I look forward to that.
Yeah.
And it just like frontline deployments. I never made it to because of some situations, but that really hurt me. That hurt me because I wanted to be out there, on those very front lines, and I just never got the chance to do that. But um, other deployments, and simulations and this and that. Man, I'm telling you, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
It's really good stuff, and it lets you see what, like you said, what you're really made of. Stuff you're like, I can't do this. No, you can. You just didn't realize you could until you actually put in that situation.
Right.
And it's a good life, man. If I could do it again, like if they told me right now, you can come back into the military right now. You have 24 hours to get your stuff together. You can come back right now, but there's 100% chance that you're gonna deploy to, I don't know, Iraq, Afghanistan, wherever. You're gonna deploy to a hot zone. It's 100% chance that you're gonna deploy. Dude, without a doubt, I would go. I mean, no hesitation. No hesitation. If they gave me 24 hours to get ready, I would have 23 hours of wait time.
Damn.
That's just how it is, man. I mean, we used to tell ourselves all the time, man, this sucks, man. Why are we doing this? Blah blah blah. But whenever it's time to re-enlist, you just automatically do it. It's just you. It's a different world, man. It's just a different world. Look,
Guys, you have to be around people like Greg or people like myself, because that feeling you get when you're next to somebody who says, I wanted to be on the front lines, is an experience unlike anything else, because now you're like, what makes this? Because to normal people, that sounds fucking crazy. That's terrifying. You want to go to Iraq? You want to go to Afghanistan? But to you, it's perfectly like, why do you not? Why not? Conor McGregor, he was quoting, I think it was Van Gogh. He was like, I found myself, or I immersed myself in my craft, and along the way I lost my mind. And he was like, I'm numb to everyday 9-to-5 jobs. I'm numb to people who don't get up and work out. What do you mean you don't work yourself to exhaustion? Mm-hmm. What do? You eat chips all day? Mm-hmm. That's crazy. But to us, I'm like, 6 a.m. workouts, duh. Oh yeah, you pulled your hamstring. You need to stretch more, but you'll be there tomorrow, right? Oh yeah.
Yeah, man.
It's a thin line between greatness and failure, but we make it seem like it's a fucking Grand Canyon jump away. Because all you got to do is get up off the couch, step on that other side.
Man, but I mean, I'll tell you, especially now that I've gotten older and all the surgeries and stuff I've been through, that step is a lot harder to take. Man.
For sure.
Let's keep it real. I am not a spring chicken.
Yeah, I'm talking about the people who are spring chickens. I'm talking about people my age and in the position where they can.
Hey, it's that's why I said I got to use you as motivation. There's selfish reasons for this, because
it should be.
I see what you do, and I know it. I need that, because without it, I already know myself. You know what I'm saying? Nobody knows yourself like yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Or you should, at least. And I know that without people like you, I'm not going to make that step anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, man, this junk is painful, and it is. But you got to be able to see through the pain.
Yeah.
To know the benefits that's on the other side.
Because that pain's temporary.
Yeah, man.
Man, but pain, fuck. It's such a. Pain is everything. Mm-hmm. It's motivation. It's crippleness. It's a lesson. It's teacher. It's everything. But mentally, we have to compartmentalize what our pain is. So my pain when I was 477 pounds, when I would have a normal job, my ankles would swell up every night. And walking on them my family called me limpy. Mm-hmm. Because I would wake up in so much pain, I'd quit my job on the spot.
Yeah.
Nobody knew why. They just thought I wasn't ambitious or I wasn't. It was just my body couldn't take it.
Yeah.
And then I got DoorDash, and you can make $100 in a day, but what is $100 in a day if you don't make it again? If you don't do it again, a normal job, that $100 a day will happen every day as long as you show up. But I never showed up until it got so bad. Standing up was painful, and I was like, "No, I can't do this no more.
Yeah.
This is not me." My whole life, I feel like I've been favored just with people I've met, things I've been able to do. And it's like you were saying, am I going to be around long enough to enjoy that?
Yeah.
And I wanted to. But the one thing I wanted to enjoy was my son.
Yeah, right.
That was the big thing. Because fuck, how could I have died or rest in peace if I knew I wasn't able to help him with anything in his life?
Right.
He has to look at me through pictures.
Right. Wow. Yeah. See, that's deep when you put it like that. For sure.
Right. Like I woke up today and my son was laying on my bicep, and I was like, "When did you get here?" But it's like, that could have been another man. Like Jay-Z said it on 444. He was like, "Man, imagine another nigga playing football with your son."
Right.
And it's not you. I couldn't have done that.
Right.
Some men could. And like you were saying to the camera, like, man, I've been through some shit. Like I've had my dad write me a letter when I was supposed to go to Idaho for like the summer or whatever. He was supposed to see me off, but instead he wrote me a letter saying, wanted to be here. I didn't have a dad. Don't know how to do this. Blah blah blah. And I was like, nigga, you couldn't say that in person. You couldn't have just gave me a hand five. Yeah, just made an effort. I met this man named Matt growing up at my church, and I gravitated towards him a lot because he was a father figure. He was a man who I inspired to be like. He told me something, because I've always wanted to be great. I've always wanted to do great things. And he was like, Julian, your kids don't care how much money you got. All they care is that you're present.
Yes. Dude, that's so absolutely true.
And seeing, even when I finally got a job at Planet Fitness, which I got fired from because I was slacking off, but when I would come home in the morning, he'd be like, Daddy.
Yeah.
That right there made everything worth everything.
Yeah.
And knowing that every year I get to experience a different version of him. People tell me, what is it like being a father? It's one of the most surreal things you'll get to experience because you now have something that it's truly your possession. Everything in here can be taken away, could be destroyed, whatever. I mean, so people die, but I'm saying like you're looking at flesh and blood that is yours. Mm-hmm. That if scientists was like, who does this nigga belong to? It would say you. Yeah. And that gives you a whole different
and is totally dependent upon
right.
You.
Like if he's hungry, I have to feed him. If he needs new clothes, I have to buy it. Yeah. But I say all that to say, like, I tell people, yes, I miss the baby version of him. Yeah, I miss the baby breath he had or whatever. But I thank God every day that I get to experience him liking boxing, or him learning a new word, or him conversating with me. Mm-hmm. Every chapter of his life is a new experience, and I'm grateful for that. Will I miss every chapter that is gone? Of course. But there's so much more to experience, so much more to love. To when I'm an old man, I get to now reminisce on years of him instead of being stuck in a position to where, I just want my baby.
And man, that's something that you have that I admire also because, I don't have kids.
Damn.
I don't have kids.
I didn't know if I ever knew that.
Yeah, I don't have any kids. And when I was 17, I had a girl pregnant, but I didn't know until after she had the abortion. And that destroyed me.
Yeah.
That destroyed me because of how I feel about kids, And then the what ifs that you're left with. You know what I'm saying? The what ifs, I was 17. My kid would be, let's see, would be almost 36 today. What would it be a he? Would it be a she?
Yeah.
What would he or she be doing? Would they have kids? Would I be a grandfather? You know what I'm saying? It's rough, man. That's rough to deal with.
It's interesting you say that because my my son's mom, for whatever reason we were arguing, she was like, Julian, do you know the man who you were while I was pregnant? I wanted to have an abortion because I was afraid you wasn't going to be shit.
Wow.
And the way that makes someone feel is, one, devastating, but two, as a man, you need to take her at her word. What was it in that position of time that she felt, not in reality, that she felt? Because we are all entitled to our own opinion. We're all entitled to live in our own reality. So what was she experiencing that was bad enough for her to feel this way? And what that...
And I mean, to actually consider abortion, to actually consider taking the life of her own child because she didn't feel that the man, the father of that child, wow.
How does that not make you want to be better?
Wow. Yeah.
Regardless, like...
How does that not... Yeah.
Yeah, like, regardless if people say she's fucked up for doing that, she's fucked up. Regardless, the blame shouldn't be on anyone. The fact should be the fact. The truth should be the truth. And what we need to do after that is continue to come out a winner. Continue to be, okay, fuck, all right. Even though she said all that, even though she wanted to do all that, that is fine. He is here now. How am I going to make the best of that? Mm-hmm. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it makes you think about what was we really in love? What was this? Like everything. But you can't stay there.
Right.
You cannot stay in that place because that place will consume you.
Oh, man.
The darkness lives there. There's no light in there. So when you're going past, like people think, oh, we're going to go back to the past and change shit. No, the past is not meant to be changed. It's meant to be learned from, but it's not. Right. It's not meant to be a permanent residence for you. That's why every day is a new day. So if you live in that day, you'll get consumed by that day. Because that day is dead in reality. That was 4 years ago. It's gone. But in our mind, it's like it's yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, it can be there, but just like you said, what do you want to do with it? Because that's a hell of a statement.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's no hate towards her or anything. I mean, she felt like she felt, and it was a real feeling. It had to be for you to say something like that. You know what I mean? But just like you said, you heard it. You know the situation. What are you going to do to make it different?
Right. Because I mean, even after I wanted to be better, I told her, I was like, I wanted to break up. We were in the room and we were arguing. I was like, I think we should break up. I feel like we should do everything that couples do, but not have that title. I don't want you to feel entitled to make sure I'm okay or do this. We're going to do everything that we've been doing. But mentally, I don't want you to feel like you have to overexert yourself for me. And she wanted it to be more title. I want you to say you were going to get back with me. I wanted to prove it to you. And now that we're here, 130 pounds later, now she sees it, and I feel like now she, in her mind, regrets it. Now wants to.
I hear you. But
You feel me? And to me, it fucking it eats me up, because the reason, I mean, people know she had sex with somebody else while still living with me, while still seeing my grandmother, while still calling my mom, while still doing a lot of things, right? But in her mind, she didn't cheat because we were technically, labelly not together, right? And it shattered me finding out that truth, driving, because I found out on my birthday she rented a hotel for me, and I found out, and I got super drunk. I fell asleep, and I guess she ended up having a panic attack or something, so she went to the hospital. I didn't know this, so when I woke up and she was laying in the couch, I'm like, okay, she just fell asleep. So I'm walking to the bathroom, and the person calls her, and it was some older white dude. I'm like, you have a picture of him on your phone, so if he calls you, he just pops up. And the next day leaving, I felt like somebody died, Greg. It truly felt that way. Felt like it would never be the same. And a couple days after that, I had to do a podcast with a husband and a wife for my relationship series. And I had to sit there and interview them and see how in love they were with each other, while my whole world just fell apart. But you have to want it. You have to want to be better, Greg. I tell people, come out a winner. Even though I lost that, even though I lost her, I lost my family, I lost different things, I still want to come out a winner. So when I'm at this point, I want you to see that I wasn't the fuck up. I wasn't the reason you chose to do what you did. Maybe I was the reason that mentally you wanted to have an abortion. But I wasn't I wasn't the reason why you felt like you were whatever you felt about yourself. But I also still respect her. I still want to, people ask me all the time, why do you still, help her with things? Why do you still go over there and talk to her?
it's still the mother of your child.
That's still Akila. That fact will never change.
Yeah,
so why the fuck will I ever do anything different? When she gets her own boyfriend and in a situation that she doesn't need me, that's cool. But I am a man. My son looks at her as mommy and me as daddy.
Right.
Not her as Akila, me as Julian.
Right.
So when I'm over there, I am daddy.
Right.
When I'm over there or when I'm helping her, it's to benefit our family.
Right.
People don't understand that because they're not in that position. I say, fuck that bitch. How can she? Fuck that bitch for what? So she can take my child?
Yeah, because no matter what, you're forever bound by that one common thread.
And you know how easy it is for her to be like, I feel threatened, I feel whatever, and I will no longer see Elijah. It gets to that point for some people. But my son's a daddy's boy. I tell people I prayed for him. Like later, I was like, God, please, I would like a son. And he was like, all right, your son is gonna be everything that you are not, but better. But he's gonna be a goofball. He's gonna be everything, and it's been a joy. It's been a pleasure. Yeah. Like you said, if I can do it over again, the only thing I would do different is take this personality and put it in that Julian, and let Elijah be born. Let's just say this year. Because let's just say everything with KJ works out. 4 years from now, how much better I would be. He would only be 4 instead of 8.
But that's okay, though.
No, it's fine. It's fine for sure. Yeah. But
I get it. I get where you're coming from.
If that was a possibility, without hesitation. And people say you will never be ready for children. You will be ready for children. When you have a direction of where you want your life to go, and you stick to it every day, and you get a piece of it, even if it's not everything you want, it'll be better. if you have everything you want before you have children. But you're prepared to have children when you can do what you want whenever you want to do it. And you are on the path of your dreams. If you're working at McDonald's and you don't have money to do whatever you want, that's not the right time for children.
Nah.
I wish somebody would have told me that. And they tell me that, but I wish somebody would have been like, hey, nigga, wake up, bro.
Yeah.
This shit is permanent.
Yeah.
Like,
You ain't giving no kids.
right, bro. And it's frustrating because I was blinded by a false reality that I can be a better father than my father. I thought I can have a better family structure than my family. I didn't even know how to be a fucking man, let alone a husband or a father. So the misdirection of the false reality that I've orchestrated for myself cost me a lot of growth or a lot of effort and time.
Well, you know what? I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if I agree with that. That it cost you a lot of growth, because what is this? This is growth.
For sure.
This is growth. So I wouldn't say it cost you a lot of growth, because you've learned from it.
True.
You've learned. If you didn't grow, if you didn't learn from it, you wouldn't have been able to make the statement you just made about, I didn't know, how could I be a father when I didn't even know how to be a man.
Yeah.
So think about that. So one thing, you're brutally honest about things, and you're brutally honest with yourself. But sometimes I think you're a little too hard on yourself. Make sure that you think about your statement from both sides.
Yeah.
Because again, like I said, this is growth, man. This is growth, and will you ever be able to be the father? Yeah, hell yeah, you'll be able to. You'll be able to. Okay, so it might not have worked the first try.
Yeah.
Like you said, you gotta move on from that, and you learned from it,
Mm-hmm.
so that when you go into the second, and I'm sure there's gonna be a second try. You move on to that second try, and who knows? It might even be with Elijah's mom. Who knows? I mean, I'm just saying.
Shit, that's what I'm telling her. I was like, man, there's no females at this point. I might as well just.
But I'm just saying, you go in with a clear understanding.
Yeah, that clear slate, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you go in, there's already, certain expectations. There's already certain criteria that are already set because of the things that you learned from the first time or whatever. That's the biggest part, is that you learned from it. You didn't say, woe was me. You didn't wallow in the, in the pity and the sorrow, this and that and the other. You learned from it. Damn, that sucked. Yeah. What can I do to make it better?
Well, I wallowed in it for a
year.
Yeah, for
going to.
Yeah. But eventually, I mean, even now, I still have those insecurity moments, especially when she hangs out with a certain friend, because it's like, when when she moved out, I don't know what y'all did to get, and it's none of my business. But you have this. Okay, you probably helped her find another man for the night or whatever, and it's really hard to come back from knowing somebody you love did something, and you're just trying to be better. You're trying to love hard.
Excuse me.
And it just makes you, sometimes it makes you feel like, damn, am I just a goofball? Am I?
Right.
But I think, nah, bro, that it takes a certain type of man. Like, that's why I have respect for, like, stepfathers who actually do a good job.
Yeah.
Because with me, it's like, I don't know if I could humble myself that much to just take on a family that's not mine. Not saying I won't grow, and I'm still young, 25. So I'm not in the position where I have to, but I respect men like that because it shows what it means outside of what it means to be a man outside of being tough or make a lot of money. It's bro. You have
commitment.
to. Yes.
It shows true commitment. It shows that you are really all in for what you want, for what you believe in.
And it shows a true definition of love, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Because we don't know what love is. Like Elijah's. Sorry, my mom's calling. Elijah's mom. She texted me and was like, she was like, "I love you," and I was. Normally, I say I love you back because I love the girl, right? But I looked at this time and I was like, "You love me, but you cheated on me," and it was recently, and for some reason I looked at it and it felt different. I was like, "You loved me, but you cheated on me. You loved me, but you lied to me. You love me, but you still talk about me. What is love for real? You know, we say we love things, but we won't die for them. We say we love things, but we won't commit to it every day. So when you say you love me, you just love me for that moment."
Right. What does that actually mean?
Right. What are you loving about me right now? And now, you know, like I was talking to this girl, and she went back to her ex-boyfriend, and of course it made me sad because she showed me a lot of things that the previous girl did not, and it's something I miss because miss feeling wanted, miss feeling appreciated, different things of that nature. And I'm like, bro, how could she go back to somebody who was the opposite of me? And she even knows he was the opposite. But it made me think, and it made me kind of made me feel like how I wanted the podcast to feel. And it's like, hopefully because she knew me, that I gave her a certain different understanding of what a man or what love is. And hopefully she will find somebody like me in the future, because she deserved somebody like me. She didn't deserve that individual. But what I came to conclusions with, that sometimes people are their own punishment. She probably chose him because in her mind couldn't be the woman that I deserved. So she settled with somebody she felt was on her level, who she deserved. Which hurts because she's a wonderful woman. And I miss her. But I appreciate you showing me that you didn't deserve me, instead of wasting my time even more. Do I wish it would have worked out? 100%. But you have to move on, guys. You have to understand that, that sometimes you're just better. You're just too good for these people. And it's not in a cocky way. There's one thing she said. She was like, man, I lost a lot of weight when I was in this previous relationship. And with you, I eat all my food. I'm comfortable. I'm happy. And it's like, hopefully I can make somebody else feel that way.
Yeah.
Hopefully somebody else will stay around long enough to appreciate that with me.
Yeah.
You know? But with me, it doesn't stop. It couldn't have stopped. With some people, you got to understand, with some people, when that happens to them, they stop what they're doing. Like, oh, everything I'm doing now is a waste for nothing. But for me, it just drove me to be.
Right.
It drove me to lose weight quicker. Yeah. It drove me to be successful in my podcast sooner. Because it's like, I want to show you what type of man you left. Not in a mean way, but hopefully it is a lesson to when you're in this position again, you choose happiness.
Right.
Because you don't know what happiness can blossom into.
Right.
She would have been sick. Eventually, this is going to be my life.
Yeah, man.
And some woman, God willing, is going to be appreciative of everything that I have to offer, because I'm going to offer a lot.
Yep.
But sometimes, like you said, look at it from two different perspectives. Sometimes it's like, Julian, did you want a girl up right here when you want to be up here?
Mm-hmm.
Could she have made it up here? She proved she couldn't.
And that's exactly it. Sometimes, it sucks to have to do it, but you gotta cut off you gotta trim the fat. You gotta cut the dead weight. That weight is holding you back.
Yeah.
You gotta do it. And everybody will be better for it on the other side.
For sure. But yeah, man. So coming out of the military, did you have a certain direction that you were headed to? Did you do the same job outside of the military you did inside?
When I was in the military, I was artillery. I was blowing stuff up.
Oh, that's gangster.
You know, I was
Blowing shit up.
You can. There's not many jobs like that out here.
Yeah, I don't even know of any.
Right.
I mean, Taco Bell.
And I didn't want to be honest with you, I was medically retired. I came back from Korea. And make a long story short, they found out I was just having problems breathing. I didn't know what was going on. And they did all these tests and found out I had a lung disease.
Oh, damn.
Matter of fact, it's the same one that Bernie Mac had and Reggie White, called sarcoidosis. But ultimately, it caused me to be retired from the military. When I first retired from the military, dude, you talk about depressed.
How old were you at this point?
When I was retired, I was 34.
Ooh, what is that? Eight almost 16 years in the military? 15?
Yeah. Yep.
Ooh.
And I wanted to retire, but they were like, no, we're going to medically retire you. And man, listen, I'm talking about depressed. I'm talking about I hated civilians. Like, I didn't want to, like, people just, if you weren't military, I didn't want to talk to you. You just didn't, you just weren't worth nothing.
Yeah.
And it took,
Like that quote, you lost your mind
Yeah,
to regular society.
it took me a long time to even, I didn't want a civilian job, nothing. It just, when you're in that lifestyle, I mean, that it's a different world, but it's like a parallel world.
Yeah.
And it's just different, man. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I just didn't want to do anything. But I knew, I've always been big on education, so that's why I just went back to school, got my associates in interdisciplinary studies, my bachelor's in chemistry, and then went and got my master's in biomedical science with a concentration on neurobiology. So,
Damn.
I mean, and I'm literally one project away from my doctorate being finished.
Oh, shit.
I mean, but I just, dude, it sounds good and it is good. It's all right, but they're all just pieces of paper because unless you can get work in those fields,
Yeah.
what does it really matter? So one thing, if you're gonna go to college,
Yeah. Well, fuck, let's just make a diary of everything you learned so I can just watch it and then be a doctor.
Well, yeah. When you go to college, man, just make sure it's in something that you're pursuing something that you can see still being there in the future. I mean, what I do is out there. It's very tough to get into, and especially being a non-traditional, being kind of older. Most of the jobs I'm looking at, research scientists and stuff, they want younger scientists, that they know they have some longevity.
Yeah.
They know I'm close more toward the end of my career than the beginning. And most people my age are going to be scientists that have been seasoned in the job for a while.
For sure.
So it had a job, but okay, it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's still beautiful. I mean, it's still accomplishment. It's still something that is. I mean, I bet it makes you feel good. And like, fuck, not everybody could do that, man. But no, I mean, it's just it's still motivation, especially people who are watching this, because it's like, let's just say, even at your age, you were able to get a doctorate. Some people think like, am I too old or is it too late? And
it's never too late.
Yeah, you really just proved it right there.
It's never too late.
I mean, the piece of paper is yes, it's just a piece of paper, but that accomplishment, that self happiness is worth $1 million. And there was one thing you said to me when I was a teenager. We were at Alexis's graduation, and I think she was walking up the stage, and you looked at me. You were like, "Next year, this will be you." And that's how I'm trying to just live my life, because when I see people,
I'm surprised you remember that.
when I see people get the positions that I want, or where I see people get more gains than me, just think about next time you're up, or next year, or whatever. Just whatever. Like I try to like that you're up or you're up next type of feeling, because eventually,
yeah, you're right.
You're up next.
But you can't sit and wait for it.
Yes, 100%. And that's the thing. Continue. Feel that I'm up next while continuing. Like right now, right now my weight has plateaued. I'm still losing inches.
Yeah.
But I'm telling myself by June I'm going to be 280.
Yeah.
We're in March, April, May, June. That's still 3 months away. In my mind, I'm like, bro, if I do this every day for 3 months, it's going to be crazy. Even though every day I'm plateauing, or I'm staying the same, not plateauing, every day I'm staying the same. It's just in 3 months, because I have to tell myself the accumulation of days is going to be, it makes it feel like it happened overnight.
Yeah.
That's how I tell people, like I said earlier, I got up, went to the gym. The next day, I just got up and went to the gym. And then just day after day, we're here. And it just feels like yesterday.
And that's the other thing, too, that your mindset makes it so much different because, like you said you plateaued. You're seeing minimal returns right now, minimal return. And that's a lot of times what discourages people and they're like, nothing's changing anymore. I might as well quit.
Yeah.
That's when you definitely need to stick to it the most.
You want to know what I did? So when I first started, I was doing 2-minute rounds with a 30-second rest for 12 rounds. And I was like, you know what? I feel like I can do this easy now. And even though I was still losing weight or whatever, I was like, you know what? Let me kick it up to 3 minutes a round, still 30-second rest. So now it's like, even though I'm not seeing the return, I feel the return.
Yeah.
Because my stamina is fucking outrageous now.
Yeah.
So what do? I push harder. Every time I'm at the gym, I damn near throw up. Because that's how hard I push myself. Because mentally, it's like, bro, don't be a bitch. Or mentally, it's like, you got to this point to get to this point. Yeah. So keep going. You didn't get to this point to stop.
Yeah.
You just got to this point to get to this point. Now it's go more.
Yeah.
You know, like, fuck, bro. Like, my hands hurt. My body hurt. But I'm still there.
Yeah.
Because I feel not myself when I don't.
Yeah.
Feels like something's missing.
Yep.
I mean, you felt it without the military. You're like, bro, what is this shit?
Yeah.
What is this normal shit? So, like, right now, I may have to go to the gym later, but in my mind, I already have to tell myself, hey, it's going to be okay if you miss the gym today. Calm down. You get to go tomorrow. But, no, man, it's been a journey. And another thing that I didn't know pushed me further. And I don't even know if she knows this, but my mom. She took me, I went to Booker T, as you know. And we were there for orientation or something. And we were sitting in the auditorium. And they had like Booker T alumni who did something in their lives. And it was like doctors and musicians. A whole bunch of people. And she looked at me and was like, one day you'll be up there. And from that day on, I didn't know how. I didn't know if. But
and you know Booker T
eventually, right.
At calling them people out on like social media and stuff. They're good at that, man. Yes,
and that's the thing. It's like she just, like, she believed in me then. You know, like she stopped believing in me after high school because she's like, nigga, just get a job, get health benefits. But it was just that one thing. She was like, one day you'll be up there. And now to know that it's so close, it does.
She's definitely your biggest fan.
I hope so.
She's definitely your biggest fan.
Because at one point, she was like, Julian, podcast is just a hobby. I was like, no, Mom, it's going to be my career. She was like, nigga, you're fat. You need health insurance. She didn't say that. But I know she felt it.
Right.
But no, man, I mean, I'm just happy to be in the position that I'm in. You know, I appreciate people saying, I'm an encouragement, but I want you to, if I'm an encouragement for you to, for whomever, if I'm an encouragement for you to be better, I want you to show me. Because while you're telling me and you're not doing anything, it's disrespectful, in my opinion. Because you know how many people who have been on the other side, who's been fat and lost weight, or who are in the position that they're working on themselves, and for you to say it and not do it, we're like, bro, disrespectful. I don't know. It's like seeing people wearing military shit who didn't put in no effort.
Yeah.
To me, it's probably not to the same extent because that's really disrespectful. But to me, that's what it feels like.
No, I get it. That makes perfect sense.
Man, because like I was coughing up blood going to the gym. I was getting off of COVID going to the gym. Like, I would have died in that gym if it meant knowing that I've did something. And like I tell people, like I told KJ, I'm willing to die to see how far I can. This is on my phone. in my apartment that I pay too much money for. But this is the accumulation of something better. But I appreciate you being on. Everybody's blowing me up. I think I have people that really wants to talk to me now. But a little thing for the boys, the men, the whomever is looking at you and be like, man, he's an inspiring man. I want to at least do something that he talked about, or even if it's something different. What advice would you give to them?
Like I said, man, I got two main things that I put out all the time, and I mean it. It's the first one is, don't be a product of your environment. Don't let where you're from be who you are. It doesn't have to be like that. You know what I'm saying? And number two, don't reinforce the stereotype. Don't be the one that they can look at and be like, see, I told you that's how they act, or see, this is what they say.
Yeah.
Don't be that person, man. You don't have to be.
100%.
You don't have to be.
Well, everyone, from us to you all, may your pain be champagne.